I actually swung by Barnes and Nobles right after work, and I came across this book called The Book of Questions. And I just glanced over it, read a few of the questions that are in here, and it just got me thinking I should do something with this. These are a lot of great questions, and I really want to take the time to discuss this with people, get their thoughts on some of this, and explore what my mind has to say, unrestricted, just flat out. And the amount of questions in this is phenomenal. Like, this is not going to be the question I'll be answering today, but one of them is your house contain everything you own catches fire. After saving your family and pets, you have time for a final dash to say something of yours. What would it be? I'd have to think of that. I'd have to go into deep detail on what I would want to say, what I want to do. Was there something of importance? Is there something of monetary value in here? Is there something that I can't live without this document, or it take me a pain to replace? And like I gotta think through these questions, and that's not the question I'll be answering today. But that's just the type of question that is in this book. So the first question that I plan to go through this book question by question and maybe answer one or two questions of video. And I'm also thinking of trying to incorporate other people into this video if they have time to join me on Discord. But the first question in this book, which I want to discuss, is technology has become a part of us. Would you rather lose the use of all motorized vehicles, all telecommunication devices and computers, or one of your hands? Oh, excuse me. That is a tough question. So, what would be considered a motorized vehicle? Motorized vehicles is like cars, trains, buses, boats. So, would that pertain to just me using it, or would that pertain to everyone losing it? And or just me, I just can't use a motorized vehicle. So what would be considered a motor? Is it electronic? Is it me as a human being? Is it is it a I would say it's something powered by electricity. It's a motor powered by electricity that doesn't include a human. That doesn't include the human body as a motor. That's what I would include. So that means I can't drive. I can't even hop into a car with someone to drive. I can't go I can't go on a plane. I can't. It'd be really limiting to travel, but that doesn't mean I cannot travel. Uh, I can boats use sails. Don't those don't require motors. I can use paddles. I can bike. I can, if I really wanted to fly, I can hang glide, which I probably will never do, unless thoroughly convinced. Have small fear of heights. Uh, that actually doesn't sound too bad for the most part. It'd just be very difficult for me to travel. Lose all telecommunication devices and computers. Definitely no. That would cut me. It depends on how I want to live. I don't want to live in the woods, I guess. If I live in the woods, then what use do I have computers? What use do I have a phone, telecommunication? But that's rough. Like we live in such a modern. The world is so many electronics fill the world. So many telecommunications devices fill the world. Phones, iPads, Androids. My computer is. Oh man, it'd be rough to live without my computer. I don't know what that'd be like. I mean, like my first major electronic was a Game Boy, and I've been playing the Game Boy. I've been surrounded by electronics since I was like 5 years old, at least, or at least I had something electronic in my hand since I was like 5 or 6 years old. And I still remember my first Game Boy, and I got it during Christmas, and I was only allowed to open one box. One box had the Game Boy, the other box had all the video games I wasn't allowed to touch, and I could only choose one. It was kind of a pain when I got that thing, but to lose something I've had since I was that well, that's rough. What does that open me up for? That opens me up to more reading. That opens me up to to letters. People still write letters. These things still exist. People can still work around it. But what does computers also entail? Computers are actually cars have computers. I can't drive a modernized car. I have to use an older car that doesn't have a computer in it, some sort of computer in it. And then there's use of one of my hands. That's a rough cut. Like I know, I to lose a hand. I know it's possible to live without a hand, but I just would not know what it's like to live without a hand. People, I mean, one of my good friends from college. He was in an accident and he lost his hand, and he lost his main hand, and he still lived good. He's one of my photography buds. He still shot photos. He still played video games. But I know he probably definitely had a rough time, and it's one of those things where it's I don't know, living without both hands would be rough. And I can only imagine what it's like. I cannot fathom what it's like to lose one or both my hands. So that's definitely I would not want to lose that. Even though I know it's possible that if I had to choose between the two, other two options, I would lose all use of motorized vehicles. Like I said before, I'm not limited. I can still ride a bike. I can't travel far distances. It'll be very difficult for me to go to work. I mean, I work like probably good 30 miles away from my house, and that make it really difficult. But that doesn't mean I can't travel. Traveling, you're not limited. I could sail, I could walk, I could bike, I can do all these things. Living without a computer, that's my job requires me to use a computer. I cannot do that. Um, and plus, I enjoy playing my video games. I enjoy doing all this, like not having a telecommunication device or computer, not being connected is nerve wracking. With social media the way it is now, it's really rough to get off of that. I did succeed in getting off of social media for a good 6 months last year, but I've hopped on and it's still I forgot how difficult it was to get off of social media back then. Um, but I can't choose. I can if I can. I have to choose. It would between the three. It would definitely be lose the use of all motorized vehicles. That are my thought. That's book one of the book of questions. This is a book written by Gregory Stott, PhD. I if you have time to read it, I recommend it. You can't really read it. It's a bunch of questions, but these are very thought provoking questions. I thinking of doing this regularly. This was just an experiment. I don't know if I'll continue doing this over my computer, but if I do want to bring other friends into this, get their thoughts on each question, and probably go. Even if the question is not too is kind of moot, probably go into more than one question. Um, I'm also curious what you guys think of this, and if you guys would like to join me, give me a holler. Thank you.